It is finally spring, and even though not much is growing yet, there is a lot starting to happen. In today's video, I'm sharing a little bit of everything. Our adorable new baby chicks, an update on the spring garden and seedlings, a peek at Glenn refreshing the coop, and some non-toxic home goodies we just got from Truly Free. Let's jump into it. These are our newest little residents. Aren't they the cutest? We just brought them home about 2 days ago, and they're settling in so well. This one is a black astrolorp. We have 8 of these, and we've had a black hen before, but she got killed by a hawk, and I don't remember if she was the same breed. And this one here is a white leghorn, and we got 7 of these. Both of these breeds are really good layers, but they are new breeds to us. I had 3 other breeds in mind that I wanted to try, but this is all we could find since finding chicks right now is really challenging. Right now, they're in a warm brooder here in our living room with a heat plate, clean bedding, and plenty of food and water. We're keeping things simple and natural here, using pine shavings as their bedding. Watching them grow is honestly one of my favorite parts of spring. If you haven't seen our video on how we raise chickens in our backyard, I'll leave a link in the description box for you. Right now, the setup is perfect for all 15 of our chicks, but in a week or so, we're gonna have to get another one of these containers and separate the chicks because there's not gonna be enough room for all 15 in one tub. And so we need to get another heat plate and another water and heater for our chicks. Listening to them each morning is just so adorable and so cute. And I know we're not going to be able to keep them in our living room much longer, but it's such a joy to wake up in the morning and to hear them chirping and just scratching around and pecking. It is just absolutely adorable. So we're enjoying this, but probably in a few days they're going to be moved out to the garage. Let's go over to the garden now. It's still early in the spring and we're still having lots of cold days, so there's not a whole lot happening yet. But here's a peek at our cold, hardy seedlings. We have a lot more onions that are going to be transplanted in the next few weeks. These are looking a little too long, so I'm probably going to trim them, and that's going to help them. And I also have a few kale plants and some radicchio and some leftover lettuce plants here. This is all I have right now for as far as my cold, hardy seedlings go, because a couple of weeks ago, we already transplanted onions and cabbage, some broccoli, and I'm gonna show you those in a bit. We have had so much frost in the last 2 weeks, and it has been just so cold, and we even had some snow. So I just want to show you how they're doing. We did cover them with frost covers, and that helped a lot. And it also helps that these plants that we transplanted are all frost hardy and cold hardy, but they're still very small, so they're not at that point where they can completely be resistant to frost. So I just want to show you how they're doing today. I planted 2 rows of lettuce in this bed and lots of onions in between the 2 rows, and they're doing well considering the fact that we've had snow and lots of frost. I can definitely see new growth in these onion plants, and that's what matters. It's natural that after transplanting, some of the outer leaves can get a little bit wilty, but as long as there's some new growth like this right here, this lets me know that this onion is going to be just fine. I also see new growth here in these lettuce plants. These red lettuces are doing much better than the green lettuces. Although this green lettuce, I think it's called Landis Winter, it's very cold hardy, and we've had it survive a couple of snowfalls in the fall. So it's going to do just fine. I do see some fresh growth here in the center, so it will be fine. This is another bed that has 2 rows of lettuces, but I didn't plant anything in the middle. I didn't have time that day to transplant the onions, and that's okay. I kind of am glad we didn't because we just had so much snow and rain and frost, and I will get to that here in the next couple of weeks. These are our 2 cabbage beds, and between these 2 beds I have 30 cabbages. We cover them with insect netting to protect them from the cabbage moths. And then these days that it's been so cold, we've also been covering them with frost cover, and that has helped them so much. Again, I see a lot of new growth here in the center of these plants, so that's really good. Even though some plants have some of the outer leaves that are a little bit yellowed or maybe a little bit purple, I think that they've had a really tough time with the weather that just changes so drastically sometimes. And it's been terribly cold. But I am excited for these. They do look like they're doing well. Today is April 12th, and last year, April 10, I was just transplanting my cabbages last year, and they were so tiny. So I am so excited to have such big cabbage plants already in April 12th. We are not done with the frost, so we need to be vigilant, and we need to cover them again in a few days because it's going to get below 30 again. These are the broccoli plants that we transplanted, and I can definitely see some growth, but I also see this damage, and that is definitely frost damage. And even though we covered these plants with a frost cover, when it snowed, the weight of the snow pushed down on the plants, and that didn't work in their favor. We weren't able to put the frost cover on top of some kind of hoop or support because the frost cover that we have is not very wide. So we just had to lay it on top of the plants, and that is the best we could do at the time. You can see the new growth in there, and you can also see some damaged leaves, and that's okay. In this bed we also planted a couple of cabbage plants, and this one also got some frost damage, and you can still see some new growth though. So I am hopeful that these 2 cabbage plants are going to survive. But I am worried about these. These are cauliflower, and I had, I think, 4 or 5 cauliflowers that I transplanted here that were really small. So I don't know how these are going to do. I see that there is some new growth in there, so that's encouraging, but I just don't know if this plant is going to thrive. These other cauliflowers I don't think will survive, and this one here is definitely done. Another thing we planted in this bed are carrot seeds, and we have 2 rows of carrots in between these 2 rows of cauliflowers and broccoli. And I'm so surprised that these actually came up because when we sow our seeds, we always cover them with cardboard or a wood board. And that is a great trick to get carrot seeds started. But the trick is that after a few days, you have to lift up the board to check to see if any of the seeds had sprouted. And this time I didn't get to do that. I left the boards for 2 weeks because it was just really cold. We had a lot of rainy days, but also snowy days. And so I just left it there, and I did not even want to come out here and deal with it. So when I took off the boards, I saw that some seeds had sprouted, but they were extremely leggy, and I knew they weren't going to survive. So I was concerned, but thankfully the next day when I came out here, I saw that tons of little seedlings started coming up, and I am so excited. So I have 2 rows over here of carrots. Glenn's out here refreshing the coop bedding. Nothing fancy, just part of our weekly rhythm to keep the girls happy and healthy. We use pine shavings, and when we clean out the coop, it goes straight into their run to break down into garden gold. It's not glamorous work, but it's one of those small, steady things that keeps the homestead running smoothly, and it literally just takes a few minutes. Glenn's always such a good sport about it. This coop needs a good deep cleaning, but we'll do that in a few weeks when the weather is warmer. Spring cleaning is in full swing here, and I've been working on detoxing our home, starting with our cleaning products. Living a toxic-free lifestyle is something our family prioritizes. Over the years, we got rid of many products like cleaning supplies and personal care products that contain harmful chemicals. So today I'm excited to show you what I got from Truly Free Home. I got their 100 freeload starter pack, and that came with a lot of extra goodies that I am so excited to try. As far as cleaning supplies go, we have been using Norwex for the last few years. And the reason I'm trying Truly Free is because I wanted to find something that could be more affordable and have cleaner ingredients, and we are also supporting a local business. Truly Free is a company that makes their products in the United States, and it's actually in Michigan. That is local to me. We really like using our Norwex cloths, and we will continue to use those. But we did want to find some kind of cleaning spray for the bathroom, especially for the showers. We have hard water, so it's very easy for our showers and our sinks to get a lot of stains. We got this dish soap, so we get this plastic container. The dish soap actually comes in these two pouches that has a little bit of the concentrate, and then we need to add some water. We are also reducing waste in the landfill. We had been using some other dish soap from the grocery store that claimed to be on the cleaner side, but after looking at the ingredients of Truly Free, I feel more confident with these products. We had been using a laundry detergent that also claimed to be on the cleaner side, but I'm really looking forward to trying this brand to see if we like it better, because it definitely seems like a more affordable option than the one we were getting from the grocery store. Dishwashing soap is one of those things that we've been using that I always felt like it wasn't lining up with our values, but we could never find another option. Because we have hard water, all the other soaps that we tried would leave lots of residue on our dishes. So I'm really curious to see how this dishwasher soap will work for us. I am not at all promoting these products because we haven't actually used them yet. Once a month we get all our meat delivered to our home, which is really amazing. And today is that day, and I am excited to show you what we got for this month. We made it to the end of the month with almost nothing left. We have 4 bags of fat down there that I need to render. Some of it is pork fat and some of it is beef fat. And over here we have a beef tongue that we are saving for a special occasion because beef tongue tacos are such a treat for us. And then over here, the last bit that we were left over with are just some oxtail bones over here and some liver. And we also had chicken liver here. So that's pretty much all we were left with at the end of the month. I think we also have a heart somewhere in there that I still need to use. We always like to get a lot of whole chickens, and I use a lot of that to make soups and broths. But unfortunately, they ran out of chicken. So I got a lot of turkey this time, and obviously this is not a whole turkey. So I have some bags of turkey wings. I have turkey drums, turkey thighs, and those are going to be really great for making soups and stock as well. I know it can feel inconvenient sometimes when the type of meat that we want is unavailable, but at the same time, it reminds me how blessed we are that we are eating such fresh meat, that right now the chicken that we're going to be eating in May is in the pasture right now. And that is how fresh the meat is that we're eating. And I love that. So we don't mind having to sometimes wait for certain cuts of meat because we know that the quality of meat that we get is amazing. It allows us to try different cuts of meat. It allows us to experiment. That's how I ended up with a heart. Before buying from the farm, I didn't know what oxtail was or what to do with it. Same thing with a heart or even tongue. We've also tried brisket and short ribs. So that is a blessing that we get to try different cuts of meat. And here I have chicken, but these are actually just chicken necks and backs, which these are perfect for making stock. And there's always a little bit of meat that I can get from these necks and backs that I can add to my soup. But for the most part, it's just going to make a lot of stock, which is something that is part of our diet anyway. I think this month we got 60 pounds of ground beef. We eat a lot of ground beef, and I really hope that this will be enough for the month. We get a lot of stew every month. We also always get beef soup bones because this meat is so good for making soup, and it also has some bones with bone marrow, and those are so nutritious and delicious. This time we are trying this ham roast, which we've never done before, so we're excited about that. And then we also got some ground pork. We don't eat pork outside of bacon. It's just not something that is part of our routine. Not having some meat cuts available gives us more diversity in our diet. These short ribs are so delicious. So that's our spring update. New chicks, baby plants, clean bedding in the coop, fresh meat in our freezer, and a toxin-free home to start the season. Spring is such a beautiful reminder that we can begin again, whether it's with something as small as a seed or as simple as what we clean our clothes with. Let me know in the comments what you're planting this year, or if you've made any non-toxic swaps in your home lately. I love hearing how you all are living this out too. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.